To our January Town Hall. If this is the first time you are watching Town Hall, my name is Sam Murray. I'm the Executive Director here at Cambridge Village of Apex. Normally, we would be filming Town Hall with all of you watching in our theater. Obviously, unfortunately, due to COVID, we have limited capacity for how many people we can have at certain events. So I'm here. We have 7 of our residents here in the theater observing, socially distanced and spaced out. The rest of you are watching on your TV at home, or if you are a family member, maybe watching on your computer. So Happy New Year to all of you. I'm glad to have you here. And we will go ahead and get right into it. Our new hires is something we go over every month, new staff that we have added to the Cambridge community. So one new hire we are really excited about is Kristen Glaro. She will be a full-time lifestyle assistant for Allison in the lifestyle department. So I'll have Kristen come up and just introduce herself. How are you, Kristen?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Well, I'm Kristen. I'm originally from Long Island, New York, but I've been here in Apex for most of my life. I am a recent graduate from Campbell University. I cheered there for all 4 years, and a fun fact about me is that I like to let people throw me above their heads and do flips.
Thank you, Kristen. We're very glad to have you. Kristen had a family member that used to live at Cambridge Village as well, so she has been knows the Cambridge community very well. She's very excited to work here, so we're very glad to have her as a part of our team. Another new hire that will be starting in January is Carly Fitzgerald. She will just be a server in our restaurant, joining Nate's team, serving you at lunch and dinner. New residents that we have had join us, Oliver Libman and Ann Wallace are 2 new residents that we have joining us in January. We have a couple more joining us in later January that we'll announce at the beginning of February. And with that, I'll go ahead and bring Allison Bailey up, our lifestyle director, to talk about all the fun stuff we did in December.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So, December was lots of fun. We had our end of the year party. We had our New Year's party. And so we are so excited to start a new year. And these are just a few of the pictures that we had. We had a great turnout, lots of good use of the photo booth, and lots of good fun use of our fun things, the little pictures, the little masks and stuff. We had a great time. The band was fantastic. Did you enjoy the band? Good. They were really good. So we're looking forward to having them back. And the gentleman on the keyboards is Brian Schrager, and he comes frequently for our brunch music. So you can watch for Brian Schrager again. He's very talented. We also have added 3 o'clock concerts on some Sundays. So in this new month, we had one on this past Sunday with Ronnie Clinton, and I'll be sure to highlight those more. We have Paula Schneider. This date is for February, but we have one with Paula Schneider. I think just look on your calendar. There's a 3 o'clock concert. Come. That means the whole restaurant is open. We have enough room to be socially distanced. Remember, you still have to wear your mask throughout the program. In movies, you please still wear your mask during the movie. Do not take it off. So that's one concert is Paula's. And then we have Stonehouse coming back. They're coming back on the 31st of this month, so the last Sunday of this month. And this is the fella who looks and sounds like Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett and does all those great songs. So watch out for those and please attend. Give them some love. Change the intro to Spanish class. Joseph wanted to put it in a place that was more centrally located and a time that was more convenient. So he chose, and we chose 10:30 on Mondays in the activity room for 10 people. So please sign up for that if that's something you're interested in. We also have a Growing Through Grief program that Jamie Mitchell is running, and you can join that as well. You can always talk to him and see if it's something that's a good fit. Oh, we already did that. So then we have a new Rummikub lessons that's just taking place this month with one of our residents, Kathy George. And so she's going to be teaching you how to play Rummikub, which is a really popular board game. And those are Wednesdays at 2 o'clock in the 2200 living room, second floor, 2000 building. We also are bringing back Wii Bowling. Kristen's going to run these programs here in the theater. Wii Bowling at 3 on Thursdays, followed by balloon volleyball in the theater at Thursdays. We've moved the Sunday balloon volleyball, which is just 2 times a month, to the mezzanine so more people can see it. And we'll start moving more things out in the mezzanine as well. We have once a month, we're going to have a bus tour with Parker Call, who is a historian. And so it's always the second Monday of the month. And so this is the one that's coming up next Monday. Marco drives those. Blood pressure clinics are here. Look on your calendar. Cleo this month, we've got a recurring program. It's going to be America 1783 to 1860, Part 1. This is really what was going on with America between the Revolution and the Civil War. We usually, in history, we do all the big wars. So what's been going on between those times. We also have Sunday Crafts with Emily. We have a part-time assistant on Sundays here that's going to help film church, but also do a craft. And she'll be in the activity room at 2 o'clock. The first one, which is next Sunday, I'll be here with her, is colorful painting, abstract painting, and then make a sock bunny and make your own soap. We also have, if you look on a Saturday, we have a craft with the Davis girls, Beverly Davis's granddaughters. So that's something you can also look forward to, making a winter wreath. That's on Touchdown and in your calendar. Table Talk is returning. We had that in November. And so this one is you're going to focus on travel tales. This is a meal. This is your regular meal that you would have. But we've designated 2 tables, and we'll have a facilitator to help facilitate a conversation on where you've traveled and what you've seen, and just another way to learn about your neighbors and your friends, but with a topic that gets you off in a different direction than you may normally. Sanjay Das is coming back once a month, and he's going to, actually twice a month, he's going to lead a meditation class again, and then he's going to do his music bingo. And this month he's doing both on the same day, but in future months he'll do it 2 different times in the week. So this is meditation is great for your memory, great for your mood, great for your immune system. Music bingo is just plain old fun. Wake Med is going to be here. Their PT, we're going to do something every other month with the PT, and this month it's going to be using your rollator properly. So that's very important, because a lot of times we tend to lean forward and we're out of balance. And that just shortens your tissues and muscles and all that stuff. So this is a great program that we're starting to have on a regular basis. Oh, there it is. So the winter wreath craft, that's with Beverly Davis's sisters Elizabeth and Rachel will help you create a winter wreath. Men's breakfast is always the 3rd Monday of the month, and that's going to be at 9. So fellas, come join us. We're only going to do this every other month, so come. We've got all this great food. Y'all can get to know each other. Marco will be there. We've got another shopping trip to Belk and Gabe's on the calendar. Watch for that. I'm going to do my February calendar review on the 19th. That's where you learn. You are the first to learn of all the programs that are going up. And then Garden Club's going to have a Learn to Make Terrariums with Alex, so watch for that on the 26th. And then another Cleo program. This is the other topic we're going to do, 20th century art and times. So what was going on in art that was special and how it tied into the culture. It's really, really interesting. And then we're going to have a Bridge Players Social on Thursday the 28th at 1 p.m. So come, and I'll have more information to share for our bridge players or people who want to learn again, refresh. Come and learn and then meet each other, because I'm hearing different people want to play bridge, new people that have just moved in a few weeks ago. So find out who's there. Let's all come together and get this thing up and running. We could have multiple groups. All right. That's it for me. That's the activities. Come see Kristen or myself on the 2nd floor. Marco's here. Alex here part-time. And let me just say, Alex going to school for IT, and so we won't see him on the weekends, but we'll see him Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays. And so we cheers to Alec he already helps you all the time with IT stuff. So how lucky would anybody have a friendly IT person? Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Allison. Lots of great activities coming up in January. Again, everybody watching at home, and for those of you here, if you have activities in mind or outings in mind that you're interested in or would like to have on the calendar, go see Allison. Go see Kristen. They're on the second floor of the clubhouse. Our job is to provide you with the activities that you want to have here at Cambridge Village. So the more input we have, the better we can serve your needs. So I want to jump right into talking about the COVID-19 vaccination program. All of you received a letter from me on Saturday afternoon. It was put in your hanging file in your mail room. This letter was also sent to your family members as well, or the family contacts that we have. This letter was to just provide the information that we have so far on how the COVID vaccines are being distributed across the state of North Carolina. So this graph you see on the PowerPoint here, and again, for those of you watching at home, I just want to remind you, I will have notes of this entire town hall session. All of those details that Allison just mentioned, as well as all of these details, will be printed, and they'll be put in your hanging file folder this Friday. So if you're watching this on Thursday morning, go check tomorrow morning. They will be there on Friday. So all of this information will be written down as well. So this graph behind me, this is officially from the state of North Carolina. The state of North Carolina has made a 5-part phased rollout program for the COVID-19 vaccine. Phase 1A, which is what we are currently in right now, is meant for healthcare workers and long-term care facility staff and residents. I wrote in that letter that Cambridge Village, due to being a completely independent living community, was not included in that classification as some other more assisted living communities across the state. I've been asked the question, well, I know of some other places that have dates for vaccines, and that is true. There are communities that have skilled nursing on site, as well as memory care, as well as assisted living. There are other companies that are more medically driven communities that hire healthcare workers, and some of those communities have some independent living apartments, but are a different classification than we are. Cambridge Village doesn't employ any healthcare workers. You know, we partner with Interim and we partner with Neighbor Health, who are 2 other companies, to help provide you all services here on site. But Cambridge Village does not qualify as a medical community as do some others across the state. So I just wanted to kind of clear the air on that. So we are still in phase 1A of this program. Phase 1B will be directed towards adults 75 years or older and frontline essential workers. Well, that qualifies to everyone associated with Cambridge Village for the most part. And so when we get to phase 1B, which should be very soon, that the vaccine should be made available to all of you. I'll talk about that in a minute, and to all of our staff. The graph I'll show you next, this was taken from WRIL at 6 a.m. this morning. So this is showing Wake County, and the 3,800 people on the list, that is meaning healthcare workers that were a part of phase 1A that are on an official list to receive the vaccine. You'll see that there's only 2,020 doses remaining to give to those 3,800 people, meaning that there's about 1,800 people that are on this phase 1A list that don't even have access to those doses yet. Wake County is the second largest county by population in our state, almost number 1. Where us and Mecklenburg County are about even. What I am seeing in our discussions with Neighbor Health and the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is that bigger counties, it's going to take a little bit longer. There's counties in eastern and western parts of the states that have 50,000 people in a county, 75,000 people in a county. It's going to go a little bit quicker in some of those smaller counties to roll out the vaccine, as in Wake County, Mecklenburg County, Durham County, that have over 1 million people. It's going to take a little bit longer. So the state of North Carolina, I promise you, is working as fast as they can. I think another thing was that these vaccines were done so quickly. The strategy behind rolling out this vaccine to everybody in the country is something that's never been done in my lifetime, probably some of your lifetimes. So this was a very new thing that they're still trying to figure out. That is why we are still in phase 1A. And until all of the people, all of the essential healthcare workers, especially in Wake County, receive the vaccine, Cambridge Village staff and residents most likely will not have access to it yet. Yes, ma'am.
But when we are the Group 1B, how will we know that we'll all be taken care of if we don't belong to interim or neighborhood health?
So Ms. Hanson was asking, how will we know that if I'm a resident here, what if I don't see Neighbor Health? Does that mean I'll still have access to the vaccine? That was a question I got about Saturday's letter. And sorry for the confusion on that. When Neighbor Health, who is a part of the UNC healthcare system, when their Neighbor Health Center in Raleigh is allotted a certain amount of doses, that will be made for all residents here, whether you're a Neighbor Health patient or not. There will not be a priority based on if you are a Neighbor Health patient. Similar to the flu shot. If you all remember, when we had the flu shot available in October, Neighbor Health was given flu shots. Those flu shots were made available to people that were not Neighbor Health patients. And so it will be the same for the COVID vaccine. Obviously, if you've been watching the news, the COVID vaccine is a two-part vaccine. You receive one dose, and then you receive the second dose days later, if not weeks later. The two vaccines have different timelines for when you receive the second dose. We have 210 residents here, meaning that it's going to take about 450 appointments for every resident here to be vaccinated, because every resident will have two different appointments to receive both parts of the vaccine. So it's going to be a very intricate and tricky rollout process. And so Neighbor Health is expecting to have more information on Monday, January the 11th, to give to us. So if you are a Neighbor Health patient, I would advise wait till Monday the 11th. That's when we're supposed to receive more info. But we'll move into phase 1B. But we do not know at this point whether Neighbor Health will receive those allotted doses first, or if the state of North Carolina will work with us directly based on the size of our community. I don't have that information yet. So when I do, we will share it with you. We wanted to put that letter out on Saturday so that you all just had something from us. I know it was meant to be somewhat vague because we don't have all the details yet. When we do, when there are times for you all to sign up for the appointments, all of that will be communicated to you as soon as we know. And same for our staff as well. We want our staff to receive this vaccine. We obviously understand that once our residents and staff can get vaccinated, that will help us a lot return to somewhat daily normal life here in the community. Does anybody have any questions in the room about the vaccine in particular before I move on? Okay. Well, thank you. And again, we will release information as soon as we have it. I hope to have more next week. We're talking with Neighbor Health almost every day. Neighbor Health is talking with the state of North Carolina and UNC. So we're working as quickly as we can. Yes, sir.
Sam, could you clarify something for me? About 2 weeks ago, an article appeared in the News and Observer about Searstone, a resident community, that all the residents received vaccine. Can you clarify this relative to Cambridge?
Definitely. So Mr. Badinger was asking, there was a community close by that has independent living apartments that was on the list to get the vaccine. Searstone is a community that has, other accommodations on site that we do not have. So communities that are either medical-based communities, companies that actually employ healthcare workers. So again, Cambridge Village does not employ healthcare workers. We partner with healthcare workers like Interim and Neighbor Health, but they're not our staff. And so because we don't have skilled nursing on site, there are communities in Wake County that have independent living apartments, but then they also have progression to where they have skilled nursing, memory care, assisted living. They hire their own nurses. They have a real strong medical team on site that is their staff Those companies were just able to be a part of a different classification than we are. We are a more true apartment community that has medical services available on site, but we don't have that kind of CCRC progression that some other communities do. And another thing we did, CVS and Walgreens as well. They will be involved in some ways in distributing the vaccine. When we have more information on that, our corporate office in Neighbor Health is trying to get more information on that. At this time, we just don't have any more information on it.
I have another point.
Sure.
On COVID, and this is a personal note. I fall into the category of 80 plus, and I was wondering about that, but I think you've answered.
Yeah, so Phase 1B is aimed, and again, this is all created by the state of North Carolina. It's not written in law. It is just what the state of North Carolina is attempting to do. That in Phase 1B, anyone 75 or older would be given the vaccine. I have advised every resident that if you have a primary care physician that you see outside of Cambridge, you should be consulting with them. I understand that we're trying to provide you that information, but if you see any doctors off-site, I would be asking them these questions as well as asking us in Neighbor Health questions. But as far as in relating to Cambridge, your age, I don't know, would play a factor unless if you're 75 or older, that should put you into Phase 1B. We just don't know yet how those vaccines will be distributed to us, whether it's directly to us through Neighbor Health, through CVS to us. That's just information we haven't gotten yet.
Now, to the point you made about contacting primary care, I did this. My primary care physician knew nothing.
Yeah. And that's not surprising. I'm not
What I'm saying is, I would expect that I don't have a unique primary care. I don't think any of them know anything.
Right. So Mr. Bajer was just saying he reached out to his primary care physician who didn't have more information. That's not surprising. When we call people at the state of North Carolina, sometimes they don't have more information sometimes. Again, with how new this is just new for everybody. People in the state of North Carolina are doing jobs that they've never done before, to be honest, because we've never done something like this. We've never done this mass rollout of a vaccine before. So when that happens, companies, the state government will pull people from other places to help with this. It's a confusing, tricky process. I think we're lucky to be where we are in early January. I think when I first, Dr. Fauci, said back about a month ago that the hope would be by May or June, 70% of the country would be vaccinated. That to me seems, like it's heading that way. It's not going to be before March. It's going to take well into 2021 to get this vaccine across, mainly because the states are responsible for figuring out how to roll this out. It's not just about the vaccines being available, it's then the vaccines being given to the state and the state trying to coordinate, okay, who's reaching out to all these companies? How are we finding all these people that are 75 or older? That's the part that's going to take a long time, and I think, the vaccines came so quickly that states just weren't ready for that, which isn't their fault at all, because not only are they trying to do this, they're also trying to staff places to handle COVID testing. There's so many people that are working in contact tracing. So states nationwide are just overwhelmed with the amount of work that new to them, that they weren't staffed for prior to March of 2020. So again, I think that's why I wouldn't expect our community to receive this vaccine this month. That would be a surprise to me if by the end of January we've got 500 doses of the vaccine here. It seems like it's going to take some time. And again, when I heard Dr. Fauci say 70% by June, that would make sense that we may be in the spring when we get this vaccine. So again, as soon as we have more info, we'll share it for you. But I'm not surprised that if your doctor doesn't have more information, that's a good chance they don't either. So I'll move on to some more general community topics. Just some possible winter weather this week. We might get some snow Thursday night into Friday morning. It's not going to be that cold this week, so I don't expect the snow Thursday night to affect anything Friday. If it does, we'll let y'all know Thursday night. Sometimes we will have our landscaping company put ice melt across the parking lots the night before a snow. I only like to do that if I think it's actually going to snow, because that product is not good for the parking lot itself. It actually will stick to the cement, and it will take a while for it to wear off. So last year we thought snow was coming. We had the whole parking lot ice melted, with salt. It didn't snow, and then that stuff just kind of stays on your parking lot for a week or two. So if I need to do that, we will. We'll have maintenance put salt on the sidewalks if we think it's going to snow. And again, if for some reason it gets worse, or just so you all know, for those of you that haven't been here in the winter before or watching Town Hall for the first time, if there is a bad snowstorm, if there is a bad ice storm, if we run into situations where we have staff that may have a hard time getting into work, sometimes service changes are possible. We will do our best to announce those prior. We obviously never want to close our restaurant. We don't want to have to close certain amenities on site, but it is weather-based, and so we'll do our best to let y'all know ahead of time. I don't think that will happen this week, but if it does, we'll let y'all know. If you're watching this at home, that would be tonight. You might expect a call from me if we're expecting some snow Friday morning. We have a new restaurant menu that will start in our restaurant for lunch and dinner on Monday, January 18th. So that's a little less than 2 weeks from now. We won't have a new brunch menu this time. So we usually change the brunch menu twice a year. We change the everyday lunch and dinner menu 4 times a year. So this lunch and dinner menu, we met with our dining committee on Monday, shared some ideas. So we will be changing the menu on Monday the 18th. Again, for those of you new to Cambridge, we have about 25 items total on our menu between our entrees, sandwiches, and appetizers. We usually change about half of that menu every 3 months. We'll look at our sales. We'll see what items are selling well, what items aren't selling well. We'll usually take off the things that didn't sell very well and try some new things on there. Wanted to just touch briefly on maintenance work orders. So just a reminder to everyone, our maintenance team, when we receive work orders, we obviously prioritize major equipment failures over things such as light bulbs or kind of more minor maintenance work orders. We like to give our maintenance team up to 48 hours, sometimes 72 hours to do some of the minor work orders like light bulbs. It is based on what's happening this week. So sometimes we do have multiple residents' air conditioners go down. So if your heat goes down this week, that's going to be priority number 1 when we come in the next morning. It doesn't happen too often, but we have over 350 air conditioning units total in resident apartments here. Some apartments have 2 units, so you're going to have some go down every year during the summer and when it gets really cold. Obviously, things like major leaks take a priority. So just wanted to let everybody know, expect minor work orders such as light bulb to take anywhere from 2 to 3 days, and your more serious work orders we're going to address as soon as possible. And if you go down when you submit a work order, if you have an email address that you would like to get updates on your work order on, you can do that. So when next time you put in a work order, if you have an email address, not everyone uses email, which is perfectly fine, but you can put in your email address and then you'll get an email at least when it's telling you that there's an update on your work order. It might switch to say that you're waiting on parts. So some people have work orders where Nick, our maintenance director, has to order something to fix whatever is in your apartment that's needed. So you might get an email saying, okay, Nick has ordered the part needed. It won't tell you exactly the time that your work order is going to be done because that's just really hard for us to nail down. But it is something that's an option to you all. Yes, ma'am.
We ask for them to leave a note when they've been there and they're doing that, so that's really good.
Good, yes. And that was something we talked about last month was our maintenance team and our housekeepers. First of all, residents here have the choice for if you do not want housekeeping or maintenance to come into your apartment when you're not there, you have that choice. So let's say you put in a work order to have a light bulb replaced. If for some reason you just have to be in the room when they do that, then maintenance might come to your apartment, and if you're not there, they'll have to come back another time. So we like residents to be willing for maintenance and housekeeping to come into your apartment if you're out at lunch or if you're running an errand so that they can get that work done for you quickly. But if you're not there and they go in and do the work, they should leave a tag on your door that just says maintenance was here to do this, housekeeping was here to do this. We talked about that last month in Town Hall, so it's good that they are doing that more consistently now. I wanted to talk for a minute about visitor sign-in. So as you all know, back kind of in the summer and fall, we went through a period of time where we locked all of the exterior sliding door entrances around the community. This was in part to really enforce our rule that visitors to the community, so that's not including you all residents, but visitors, family members need to be entering through the main entrance and signing in at the front desk every time they come and go. And I definitely know that this isn't happening as consistently right now as it needs to be. We understand that, I know some family members will be watching this, but those of you that are residents, if you have family members that are visiting the community a lot, if they have fobs, which I know a lot of family members have fobs to get in, they still need to be entering through the main entrance every time they come in, signing in at the front desk, having their temperature taken, signing our screening form, and then going to your apartment. We have rules for visitation right now at Cambridge Village. There are certain restrictions on who can and cannot enter our community right now. If you've been on an airplane, if you flew from California yesterday and tried to come to Cambridge today, we would say that based on that, you're not allowed to come into Cambridge right now. That's true for our employees as well. So it's really important that family members and guests are signing in at the front and then going to your apartment. Let's say a family member is dropping off a large shipment of groceries. I would ask that you still sign in at the main entrance, and then you can take the groceries around to the entrance around the side of the building. But it's really important for us right now specifically to track sign-in, especially in times of COVID. It's good knowing who is in our building, when they got here, when they're leaving. It was really challenging for residents when we had all of those slider entrances locked. I know that a lot of people were very unhappy about that. It's very difficult for when you leave the community. If your slider entrance where you enter when you park is locked, then you've got to take a long way around the building sometimes to get in. So it's very inconvenient. And that is part of the reason we changed it back to allow you all as independent residents to have that access to your slider entrance. I really do not want to have to lock those slider entrances again because it is terribly inconvenient for you all. But I really am trying to be serious that for those of you that have families that visit, please let them know that when they visit, they need to enter through the main entrance and sign in. And then if they want to use a fob to enter on the side, if they're dropping off something, because I know the walk from the main entrance can be very far to some apartments, they can do that after. But I imagine everyone understands the importance of us understanding who's in our building, who's not in our building. All of our employees sign in at the main entrance every morning. Anybody that's doing work on site here as well is signing in and having their temperature taken as well. We record all of that data. We keep all that information. We have records of everybody for the past few months that has been here, when they come in, when they leave. It's just good for us to have. So please tell your neighbor, tell your friend, tell your daughter to sign in at the main entrance when they visit the community. And then just an update on the post office. Our front desk has been receiving some questions. We have a new time that we receive mail. So unfortunately, we do not have any control over the time that the USPS delivers mail to your apartments. And we were told last week that mail will now be delivered towards the end of the day between 4 and 5 p.m. We have a new driver. And the driver and USPS, they get to make the schedule for where they deliver. So it used to be in the morning. Mail is now being delivered late afternoon. So that's what the front desk will tell you if you ask them. It's going to be consistently late afternoon that you all kind of are receiving your mail. Just so everyone knows. Now I can open it up to any questions that the group has in the room. Yes, ma'am.
We had talked last month about the 5th week for the housekeeping to do our windows.
Mm-hmm.
What is the progress on that?
I'll have more information in the notes on Friday on that. I'm going to change the schedule for that 5th week to change it to 4 weeks. So I'd like to combine 2 of the weeks. So I'll put the updated weekly housekeeping schedule in Town Hall notes this Friday.
That will include doing the.
Correct. It's not taking anything away. It's just going to kind of combining. So we just have a 4-week system. Yes, sir.
Sam, last month, December, I had asked you about a list of the committees and the personnel. I believe your response was it was no problem.
You're right. I didn't put that out. So I will put that out on Friday's Town Hall notes. I should have. I did tell you I'd put them out last month. So Mr. Batinger was just asking about the list of the advisory committees we have. So we have the Lifestyle Advisory Committee. We have a kind of general resident advisory committee, and we have a dining advisory committee. And so I know the names of all those people. Apologies for not getting that out. I'll put that out in Friday's notes. Cambridge Connections too. So that's a 4th kind of resident-based group. Again, these are advisory committees we have to help plan out our restaurant menus, to give feedback on things that we're doing, activities. If you're interested in any of these committees, I'll put my phone number on the Town Hall notes. You can give me a call. We'll try to get you in. We try to rotate the committees every so often, but if we have people that are really interested, we do appreciate your feedback. All right, well, thank you all so much. Again, the notes from this session will be in your hanging file folder on Friday, and we'll email them out to all of your family contacts as well. So thank you all. Hope everyone has a great January. Welcome.